Poet Ponder, and I'm back with another video. Yo, please come in, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I do uploads. I hope y'all all doing well. It's Friday evening. Few topics I want to talk about. You know I want to talk about that Remy Ma, Papoose, Remy Ma. Definitely want to get into that. I want to talk about Cardi B, and I also want to talk about that energy that was going on between Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla as well. So please thumbs up this video, thumbs it up, get it to 1,000 thumbs up. I ain't asked for that in a minute, but when I was asking for y'all to do that in every video, y'all was doing a good job with, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta ask for what you want. So listen, first thing first, I want to talk about, I want to get into the Remy Ma commentary and Papoose, but I'm going to ease my way into that. I'm going to go over, you know, just the Cardi B and the Megan Thee Stallion first. So first thing first, Cardi B is all on TikTok, right? And she's nervous because we're inching towards June and she has not made an album announcement, no single announcement, no nothing, right? So she's on TikTok and she's showing some sort of frustration, talking about her bundle deals, like, you know, the albums when you bundle your album with like merch or whatever it is that they bundle their album with, but she's stressed out about it. So listen, let's check this out.
Comes to my album, I don't let y'all know it's not my fault right now. Like right now, it's not my fault. Right now is really not my fault. Well, it kind of is, but it's kind of not, because it's like, I'm gonna talk about it when I put the announcement out. But like, you know, I'm trying to give everything at the same time. This bundle should be annoying. I'm not even gonna lie, this bundle should be annoying. Like, it got so much bull. People just be, I don't know, like, I that's why I don't like depending on other people for certain things. And I'm not talking about artists, I'm talking about like with these bundle stuff. But it's coming out great. I really wish I would have done the album announcement last week when shit was hot, but you know what I'm saying, I can't do nothing about it. Don't put this on Twitter neither. Like, it's like, if y'all gonna talk about it, talk about it in the group chat.
This girl is slow. She's clearly slow. So Cardi B is talking about she should have made that album announcement when she was walking in and out of the Knicks game with Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? You see how clout chasing she is? What I personally feel is that Cardi is trying to inch closer and closer to like the VMAs. And she's, listen, if she pushes her album into the holiday season of 2025, that is sad, because you know a lot of people, they feel as though they do more units around that time of the year. But that can be hit or miss depending on who you are. And Cardi, come on, what is this? Was this the 7th year? 27, so wait, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Was this the 8th year? I think, was this the 8th or 7th year? You let me know in the comments. But let me know in the comments, do you think, is Cardi, is this cap? Is this cap coming from Cardi? Because why you having all these mechanical issues at the end when you're supposed to just be coming out with your announcement, and you know what I'm saying? Cardi, I know that you're worried over there, baby. You want to know how I know you're worried? Because the usual thing, the strategy that you followed, and only she's followed this. Well, if you notice, Doja Cat has tried to follow this strategy too, but I want to let y'all know. Now, I'm not saying that Nicki never had anything that struck out, or, you know, anything that never went to the top, but, you know, they don't bubble how Nicki does, right? But like you notice with Doja Cat, Doja tried to jump on some songs here and there, like, you know, with her white friends and stuff like that, and, you know, white rappers who are popular, and they just didn't take off. This is all campaign season before these people drop albums. Who taught them how to do that? Nicki taught them how to do that. She's the muse of this female rap thing. When it comes to like getting the packaging together and getting ready for an album release, it's the, you know, you jump on the songs, you do the remixes, and then you cook up before the main project come. Cardi, we've seen this girl literally strike out for 2 years straight. We've seen her strike out. The heat ain't there no more. So you know that they got to get this, they got to get whatever that they're going to put together for this next release. They got to make sure the radio is right, the playlisting is right. They got to really go up. So, you know, her campaigning has just been poor this season. So listen, get in the comments and let me know if you think, put right in the comments, Cardi B cap. Like, why your product ain't ready, mama? You've been recording the album since 2017. I want to remind y'all, when she came out with Please Me and Money, there was supposed to be an album after that, and it never came. Then the pandemic came and she leaned on that. She used that as a crutch. We've been out of the pandemic for 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about Cardi B capping. It's always some sort of cap, you know what I'm saying? So let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is that situation earlier this week. First and foremost, I want to say this. You seen with Glorilla, people was talking about how Glorilla got her nose done or whatever. If I find a picture, I'll put it up there, right? But what I personally feel is this, right? You know, when people have money, people get their nose done on the basic level, whether they got, you know, millions or whether they got thousands, whatever. People get their nose done, they get their body done or whatever, right? I'm a firm believer and a supporter of do what you want to do as long as it's safe and, you know, you're not putting your life at risk. What I personally believe is, and this is only my opinion, right? Did Glorilla have listen, some people do have funny looking noses. Somebody might think my nose is funny looking or whatever, right? But I love my nose. I love my teeth. I love everything about myself. But Glorilla, maybe, you know, she has millions of eyes on her and maybe she just felt as though, I did feel like, I'm going to be honest with you. And this is, I feel like it's the only way to be frank. I do feel like Glorilla's, no, I want to say that because I feel like once you say it, you can't take it back. But I do feel like her nose was unflattering. I'll say that. That's better than saying ugly, right? But I do think that she looks better with her nose now. I felt like, because, you know, nowadays they have this thing called ethnic rhinoplasty. And I feel like her nose still looks ethnic. She didn't get it, you know, done like a Jackson type nose or like looking like Little Kim or like, you know, did they say Dawn Richard got a nose job too? Her nose don't look like that. It looks ethnic still, and I feel like her nose job looks good and it fits her face. My only issue with people who get nose jobs, right? What type of message do you send to your children, your potential children, or your offspring, who when they're born and they have your genes and genetics, they're still going to come out looking like the way that you did. So are you going to invest and get their nose done too? With me, I'm more so of a person look in the mirror and get what you know, like the one that you see before you is all true. Like that's what it's supposed to be. But some people, they look in the mirror and, you know, nothing wrong with improving, your appearance or anything like that. I don't have any issue with it, but, you know, more so on the level of, you know, if you're still having kids or whatever, how are they supposed to feel seeing that, you know? And then if they wanted to get that done, how would you support that? So get in the comments, let me know what you think about Glorilla getting her nose done. I think she looks great though, to be honest with you. Now let's talk about Glorilla as it pertains to Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. So Glorilla, she had said that allegedly she went on her Twitter page and she seen some post and it had some sort of inspirational message on it, and she ended up sharing it to her stories. Well, when she shared the post to her stories, it had a song attached to it from Tory Lanez. Now, this caused an uproar in Hottieville. Megan Thee Stallion's fans, the Hotties, it caused an uproar in Hottieville, and they was just spazzing out on Twitter, on Instagram, and people were just mad, right? Well, that caused Megan Thee Stallion to unfollow Glorilla. Glorilla then went and unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion. So that probably happened for all but, you know, a few minutes. Then they refollowed each other, right? My whole thing is this. I felt as though, like, you know, say Glorilla did like Tory Lanez. It's like Megan is not your master. She got that much control over you to where she had you delete. And then not only did they follow each other back, Glorilla deleted it, and then she said that she didn't realize what song was attached to it. So you can't like Tory Lanez. She is not your master. See, that's why I get it messed up, and this is why, you know what, I think that female rappers are so fake. Because Megan, you didn't even give that type of credence, or that not credence. You didn't give that type of grace to Nicki Minaj, and she did way more for you. Way more for you. That's like, this whole thing is just so fake to me. I want to know how you feel about that in the comments. What did you think about Glorilla deleting her stories, Megan unfollowing her, she unfollowing Megan back, and then boom, boom, boom. It's like boom, boom, boom on your bitch ass. Like, what you think about that whole, you know, melody of events with them doing that? Like, I feel like you give Megan the upper hand. You're honestly doing better than her right now. It's in terms of, well, Glorilla, did she kind of like start sizzling down now? She got to get another hit. And she, you know, did she drop that love song? If she did, it ain't bubbling right now. If she did, right? But Glorilla, she's doing, I think her and Megan is kind of neck and neck. You know, they kind of neck and neck right now. But you ain't never going to have somebody, you know, to have... Megan Thee Stallion shouldn't have that type of power over you that she got you deleting stories. Huh? That ain't your sister? You didn't grow up with her? Like, yo, this is crazy. That is really, really, really crazy. But listen, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about that as it pertains to Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion. I just felt like it looked weak, Glorilla. You should, you know, and Glorilla said that people online BS'd and that she posted it by mistake. Why you can't just like Tory? Huh? Who is Megan to you besides, she's a co-worker at the end of the day. A co-worker. And y'all both went on that tour and performed in empty ass arenas. Listen, Get in the comments, let me know what you think about that. Let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about, oh, it pains me. It pains me, and I'm very, very upset to talk about Remy Ma and Papoose. Let me tell you something. I think anybody who's come to this channel, who's been following me on here since probably like 2019, you know that I like Remy Ma. I love Remy Ma. And I'm a little upset with the way things panned out with her and Papoose. And I feel as though what Papoose says about Remy Ma, you know, with her being a narcissist, I think that it is really true. I can see certain behaviors with her, you know, even before she went to prison. You know, when Remy had shot that girl, her ex-best friend Makita, one of my friends is actually friends with her too, and I'll be looking at her Instagram, whatever. I think the girl lost her husband like a few years ago too, but I'll be looking at like the girl's page or whatever. But what I noticed was, which Papoose spoke on, that he paid her civil lawsuit, right? I think that, did that girl sue for like was it 100,000 or up to $1 million or whatever? But Papoose said he paid it out of his deal. But anyway, I remember that the girl in her lawsuit, she sued Remy Ma and her record label, and she stated that Remy Ma promotes this type of antisocial and, you know, negative type of behavior. Well, let's get into what happened which made Remy Ma lash out. And I personally believe that she wanted to do this based off of I think that she wanted to do this just based off of how Papoose is living and how he moved on, and how I really feel that Remy Ma doesn't really want Papoose to have anybody, have any love, any support, and she just wants him to fizzle out. And listen, let me just tell you something right now. As it pertains to Cardi B and Offset, I feel like they get into it online and then it ceases, right? The way that Remy Ma was, the things that she was saying about Papoose, bringing his son into the matter, talking about his son's sexuality, I just felt like it was wrong, Remy, and I kind of lost a lot of respect for you for doing that. And the thing about it is, I like, but I'm from New York, so it's like I love Papoose and I love Remy too, right? Remy gave me the feel that Foxy and Kim didn't give me. She was like the hood girl that would fight or whatever, the girl next door. You know, she gave you like kind of like, you know, I always say that like like Foxy and Kim, they were like the like, in a sense, like the boutique, well-kept mainstream female rappers. And, you know, Remy was like the streets for real. You might catch her. She might not be designer down. You might catch her in a pair of Jordans or a pair of Air Max, and it's like relatable. Like, oh, okay, we rocking the same, whatever, right? Whatever. But let's get into what happened. So what happened was Clarissa Shields ended up going on The Breakfast Club, and in some sort of way Remy's name came up, but she still waved the flag and just let her know that, you know, she don't have an issue with her or whatever, right? Now that little bit of commentary that she did on The Breakfast Club, it sent Remy into an uproar, right? So Remy comes online, she went live, and then I believe Papoose fully, I'm going to be intertwining like the words from what Papoose said, because it's like, I don't want to go like what Papoose said, I want to just intertwine. Remy came online and said her mother reached out to her and said that she was worried, how she has seen some video on YouTube, and, you know, is she in a coma or whatever the case may be. Papoose called Cap. He said that, come on, we all know that they make the fake AI videos on YouTube, Remy, you know that. You just needed a reason to come online and try to make it seem like it was this big urgency or whatever, right? I seen it in her. I seen it in her. And, you know, Remy, you know, you're older than me, and it's like, you know, you inching closer to 50. It's like, you need to have more. I feel like with Remy, being that she did, what did she do, 7 winters, 6 summers or whatever, how 8 years in prison, right? I feel like mentally she's still 34 years old. Like, you are a grown ass woman. It's like, why you not acting like that? You running around with this 35-year-old boy, you pushing on 50, he pushing on 40. By the time you cross over that line, he gonna be trying to get into something else. And you really played your family for this, for Easy to Block Captain, the one who be blocking videos on YouTube. People, yo, they tried to block one of my videos from their event, right? Yeah. Yo, it's so crazy. I ain't even gonna say what I inboxed somebody and they told me. They tried to block my video. I disputed it, and it was under Remy, whatever, under that. And I said, this video was taken by a bystander at the event. This is not their video, and they released it. Don't play with me, because I got the, listen, you gotta have the tenacity to deal with their audacity. Let's continue on though, right? So Remy saying that her mother, you know, she used that as a setup to come online. Her mother, you know, was questioning, is she okay? And she was like, I'm okay. You know, I do Pilates, my body, and this and that. And yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. Or whatever, right? Then she talks about the situation with homegirl going on the Breakfast Club, and how every time she opens up her mouth to talk about Remy, she is going to drag Papoose. So he's supposed to be your beating pad and all of that. Listen, let me just tell you something, right? It is possible that Remy makes more money because, you know, technically in a sense, and even though Remy, you know, I feel like it's wrong of you to try to compare and, you know, try to boast above Papoose, because while you might have some hits that could keep you on the road, I know that before Love and Hip Hop, I know that offer price is not through the ceiling. This is from somebody who likes Remy, and I also used to have connections with promoters when she used to come upstate and perform. And I know for a fact she wasn't getting paid more than like $5,000 to do a performance. So I'm going to tell you as a fan, when that whole shooting happened and she shot her friend over the bag or whatever, me as a person who speaks to promoters, I understood that, because it's like, you don't know when the person, I don't understand why she did that violence, but I understood how, when was her next booking? She got family, she got a house, she got bookings. I mean, she got bills, she got a kid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When's your next booking? So that last $2,000, what if you wasn't getting booked to 2-3 weeks and you could have been messed up? You know what I'm saying? You just never really know where a person is coming from. So I knew in real time. And that was back in the day when Fabulous was hot. And I spoke to the promoters at the club upstate. It was called Sneaky Pete's. And I used to ask them like, yo, so how much do Fab get? And they was like, Fab would get anywhere between like 20 to 25 to even 30,000 sometimes, because he gonna pack the house and they could sell the tickets for higher. Remy Ma, come on. It was completely different. So anyway, right, I don't like how she was trying to like down talk Papoose and just trying to make it seem like he was so broke and, you know, he didn't have anything and didn't contribute anything, right? So I made a few notes, so I want to make sure I go over it. All right. So, you know, she did, you know, she went at Pap like that, talked about the Clarissa being on the Breakfast Club, how she's going, you know, how she's going to diss Papoose, saying that his clothes were still over at the house. And, you know, she also exposed like, you know, different intimate details, saying that, you know, she was like, you know, people was saying that it was unbelievable that somebody could hold somebody down for that long, and she tried to like poke holes and say that he didn't, you know, he wasn't loyal or wasn't faithful at all to her when she was locked up for 8 years, which I don't believe that, because to me personally, just judging the character based off of the behavior, and based off of like Papoose exposing it, because he has real in-person experience with Remy, saying that she's a narcissist and all of that, I can see that all in her behavior. I see it. And then, right, for you to talk about his son and talk about, oh, you know, he has a son already, but he doesn't approve of his sexuality, so, you know, he doesn't claim him or whatever. That's not right, Remy. You want to know why that's not right? Because we all seen in real time that your son Jason or Jason or whatever, right? I think he's battling the case right now. He has a child as well, and I don't know if you have an issue with the mother or whatever, but you have a grandchild, and it's like your grandma, you know, and just like you still trying to run around here, body look good, face look good, get beat up with the makeup and all that, you look good, but it's just like, what are you neglecting in your life? And then you trying to like put the magnifying glass over Papoose, right? If anything, you came online talking about your daughter's going to see this, your daughter's going to see that, where your daughter's going to see you contributing to the negativity that is spawned against her father. Like, you calling him a girl and all this, you're saying all of these negative things about him. And what I didn't like the most, right? And this is the setup. You have to watch out for the seeds that people plant. This is the setup. When she said that your new come up, and she made sure that she kept strategically calling Clarissa his new come up. I love the fact that Clarissa came online and was like, yeah, we are having a baby. We are doing this. We are going to start a family. We're going to do X, Y, Z, right? That's her decision. You want to know the difference between her Papoose being 47 and her being 30? That this is not a Cassie and Diddy situation where she's a young teenager and it's this older man, you know, especially when you're naive and more gullible, your brain ain't even fully developed. Clarissa is a grown woman. You know, she can choose to date whoever she wants to date, honestly, right? I mean, what? And I know people had said that, Remy said that, you know, Papoose daughter and her is around like the same age. Listen, that's his choice. That's her choice. If she want to deal with a 47-year-old man, maybe it's something within him that, you know, that gives her a drive, or maybe it's the love or whatever. Listen, everybody has their rhyme and their reason. Who am I to say that? But I'm happy that she's a grown woman and he's not dating a teenage girl at that age. You understand what I'm saying? Young Miami was Diddy was 25 years old when Young Miami was born. You do the math, and y'all praised and glorified that relationship. So she tried to get the public to look at them like that was bad. She kept saying, little Remy Ma kept saying things like, "You're a new come up," and if I was friends with her, I would tell somebody like, "Girl, you're young, get away from this man." It's like, you don't want Papoose to have anything. And I felt like that was real ugly. You know what makes me scared about people who do stuff like that? I promise you. Anybody, I'm covered. I could tell Pat. See, the reason why, with Papoose, right? He grew up with his mother and his father, so he wanted to be in the house with his kid, right? And I think he wanted to keep an eye on his daughter, too. He mentioned that Remy Ma laying up in the bed with girls from prison and all of that, and then the easy situation running off on the daughter for days at a time. Let me tell you something. There is something, I don't want to say this and offend somebody, but when you've been to prison sometimes and you come out, there are some things that's like mentally dysfunct about like some people who leave the prison system. There are some things that are mentally dysfunct with them. And I think personally, being that she did 7 winters, 6 summers or whatever, almost 8 years, I think that she's 34 psychologically. She's trying to catch up for time missed or whatever, right? But what I wanted to say before I forget is that I have this thing with me that when people try to violate me and I don't give that energy back to them, I close my eyes, I think to God, and I know that he's going to get you back. I don't want Remy to be humbled in a bad way, but you're going to get what you get back for doing this. You are, because this is not right? It's not right. You're trying to embarrass this man on the internet, and I know that's a lot of women who support Remy Ma. I know that, she was kicking in saying that, she pays the bills, she bought this house, she did this and that. But Papoose also said that when you were locked up, he spent a lot of his money that he had, related to your civil matter, holding you down and doing different things like that. He said he does pay bills and he can prove it. And I do believe him. And Remy, right? I told y'all this 2 years ago when Remy did this interview with Wallow and Gilly on their podcast, and Papoose and Remy was sitting there. And she was so full of her masculinity that she had to demean this man on this podcast that got like over 200. I think the podcast got like over 200,000 views at that time, right? At the moment, right? But what I wanted to tell you was I knew that she was foul because they were talking about their daughter on the podcast with Gilly and Wallow, and she said that her daughter is her daughter is a daddy's girl, but it's like when she wants her or whatever, she gets mad. She said something to the nature of she know who got the money. You're saying this about your husband on the damn podcast? You are not humble at all. You're not humble at all. I understand you came home from prison, you changed your life and all of that, but you're not humble at all. And then Papoose put you on blast, and I know Nicki Minaj is somewhere laughing. Nicki, she laughing. You want to know why she laughing? She's laughing because Nicki called out years ago that you did not write Sheether. I ain't want to believe it because me and Nicki both came up listening to you. You know how much you harassed and harangued Little Kim and Foxy Brown sometimes talking about you ain't write your rhymes, you ain't do this or whatever. Now, Papoose exposed you and said that he wrote Conceited. He exposed and said that he also wrote Sheether. He pretty much said it in a roundabout way. He said that he saved you during a crisis in your career with writing something, and that was with Sheether. Nicki called that out, and you see how you tried to get the fans off of Nicki and try to make it seem like she wasn't writing her rhymes. You did all of that for what? For Nicki to move on from that situation, go platinum multiple times, go diamond, still be rhyming, and you where? In battle rap, you in battle. Listen, I'm saying this as an unbiased fan from how I see it or whatever, right? You in battle. You had to take your celebrity, your low tier celebrity, and bring it over to battle rap and try to reign over Smack and all of them to just be like, try to get your battle league popping. I seen exactly what you did, because it's like, if I can't make it in this industry and in between doing shows and XYZ, I'm gonna go to the battle rap and get it popping. First and foremost, a lot of the ladies, they may not be saying it out loud. Some of them do say it, right? But Remy started an all-girls battle league, and then when that wasn't really taking off, or I guess she was losing money, she switched it up and started booking men. So that's the real on that. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, Papoose exposed that. I thought that because when Remy did her interview when she was in prison, the guy was asking her, was she worried about like losing her skill, and she was like, Papoose would never let that happen. And now when he says everything, it makes sense. I spoke to one of my peoples in the DM and I said, yo, Papoose wrote Conceited. This is another artist too. Papoose wrote Conceited and she was like, damn, that kind of let me down. But now that I think about it, Remy Ma is like, she wants to be a man so bad. She couldn't have wrote that record. Like, she's not really soft like that. And I think Papoose is more, intelligent enough to make a record like that. And the thing is, you could do your research and look it up. Papoose, when Remy Ma did Conceited, Papoose was on the remix. Yes, he was. And that was back during the time with, DJ K-Slay and all of them. And I wondered, and see, listen, I know that I have a gift because I noticed this distance in my spirit between Remy Ma and DJ K-Slay. And when Papoose was on his live last night, he mentioned that she was mad at DJ K-Slay. And I felt that she was mad. Ooh, you know what? I also got to insert for you right here. Let me insert this video from BK Tidal Wave. Y'all all know and love BK Tidal Wave. The people who know about her from, she's from New York or whatever. She's an internet sensation. But she even said that Remy Ma and Papoose was going to divorce. And she said it was more so over the financial means. But this is the same girl who Remy ignored, up until she died. Never mentioned her. This girl was trying to get her life changed, get on Love and Hip Hop. Never showed her no love. Let's run this clip real quick.
Shout out to her healthy and her beautiful baby. Do I like her? No, I don't like her name. I just feel like...
Why you don't like that?
Because Remy is his bag.
Okay.
Remy is his bag.
But he held her down for years.
But he held her down.
But he knew what was going to happen.
But he held her down when it was needed.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
But he got signed $1 million deal, right? From K-Slay. Right?
Back then?
Yeah.
Back then.
Back then. Okay. But he went well for how many? For so long.
Why wouldn't you? Remy is his bag.
Yeah. So that was his meal tickets.
Yes, that was a fact.
Today,
let me say something to you. Papoose is nice. Papoose is nice. Lyrically, put on for Brooklyn. Shout out. But he's not no star.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Anybody could be a rapper.
Yeah.
But he's not no star. He's hard. Yeah, to the street motherfuckers. But what is Papoose doing? Without Remy, there's nothing. Let Remy say I'm divorcing him and not fucking with him today or tomorrow. Where will Pat be and where will Remy be? Nowhere. I just feel like I don't know. Like, I guess from a woman that, like, I chose to have a pimp. I chose to give somebody 6 years of my life pimping me and me giving them my money. And for me coming from that, I just know a boyfriend pimp when I see one.
So he pimped her, basically.
He's a boyfriend pimp on it.
Alright, so like you said earlier,
Mr. Black Love Wholesome is pimping motherfucking Remy Ma, huh?
Yeah. He talking about some black love, the golden child. How you feel about that name, golden child?
Yeah, that's
why does it take a baby? Why does it take for him to have a baby with a female rap artist to have a golden child? What about your other fucking kids? What are they?
Oh wow.
Purple and blue?
That's very true. I never looked at that.
Next bitch.
I never looked at wow. That's crazy.
You heard it first, bro. You mopped it.
Damn, I never looked at it.
It was like purple and blue.
Purple and blue. Okay. All right. So,
how would you feel? You my son. You my oldest. I have a baby with you. Let's just say you're fucking French Montana. Why does my baby have to be the golden child?
Yeah.
With French Montana.
Right.
And you got other kids.
Yeah.
What makes this baby so fucking special?
Absolutely.
That's what I said. Husband, wife. But Remy gonna wake up, I guarantee y'all, mark this interview. Remy was my best friend in my teenage years. And those were the best years of my life. And those are the years that I hold to my heart. I guarantee you, I give them maybe 5 to 10 years.
So yeah, so those are words from BK Tidal Wave as it, pertains to Remy. Shout out to BK Tidal Wave. May she rest in peace. And, she was always someone who I liked. But listen, right? So Papoose when he was on his live, he talked about how he contributed to Remy Ma, how he, supported her, how his career took a turn after being dropped from jobs. She even wrote a song, If Only You Knew. She did a rhyme over the sample of the If Only You Knew, and she said, I would never violate, I would never jive you. Like, she would never jive him like the label did, and you jived him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Remy, when it comes to the money and all of that, she feel like she could run over Papoose based on, she feel like she can run over Papoose because she might have more, income coming in. And then she talking about her royalty checks. Them records is not spending like that for you to be getting no royalty checks like that. Like, let's be really real, Remy. Let's be real. So yeah, Papoose exposed the fact that Remy don't even got a good relationship with her family. I could see it. Her attitude is disgusting. She rapped about it in her songs. She said what'd she say? If you know me, you either love me or you like me. You either love me or you hate me. Don't nobody like me, because her attitude is ugly. And I believe that too. I believe it. Listen, if you know me, you know that I love Remy, but I didn't like the events yesterday. It's like, Remy, also, before I close this up and wrap this up, because I don't want this to be too long, you were always the type of person who wanted to fight. When you had an issue with Azealia Banks, I think you threatened her with fighting. When you had that issue with that girl from Queens, she ended up getting her pounded out at that damn venue in Manhattan, right? When you was on paper, somebody did it, but you made shit happen. So I feel like if Clarissa talked about you on The Breakfast Club, why you attacking Papoose? Why you ain't hit her in the DM, ask her to call you? You said she got your number. Why you ain't reach out to her? But you wanted to drag Papoose. Come get your stuff out of the house. Come sign these papers or whatever. You was just foul. And I hope that when you get into a quiet space away from all of this, that you realize that Papoose said that you still asking to be back with him and all of that, right? And also, see, it's like different things. That's why sometimes I wish that I take notes, but I be loving to speak from the heart. But Papoose had an audio of Remy Ma saying that she was mad that he punched and knocked out Easy the Black Captain, because now she can't leave him because he had information that could expose Remy. Right? I don't know if it's videos, just the fact that she was dealing with him while married or whatever. And then Easy had a clip that Papoose played where it said that Easy the Black Captain, that he could expose Remy Ma at any time. So it's these two snakes dealing with each other. And what I didn't like is Remy tried to make it seem like she was single, but we all know you was dealing with and running around with Easy the Black Captain, right? In the state of New Jersey, since you want to keep calling Papoose broke and all of that, I want to see if he's going to get spousal support out of you. I really want to see that. I want to see if he gets spousal support out of you, because you calling him broke, you're saying that he can't do this and that and whatever. Y'all been married for how long? I've been married for a long time. 27, 37, about to be 47. You've been married, so that man could get a nice coin up out of you, and yeah. And you really gonna be bitter. So listen, calling him a girl, talking about, then you saying that his son is gay, and then you mentioned, then he exposed you for being in the bed with a woman, with your daughter in the bed. This whole situation was just messy. It was just messy. Listen, I'm about to wrap this up. Potent, pondering, never pandering. I want you to get in the comments. Let me know what you think about that whole situation with Remy Ma and Papoose. Whose side are you on? I ain't negating and saying the fact that I understand Remy. She probably wants somebody who, maybe somebody who gets more bookings and they're able to contribute more or whatever the case may be. But Papoose did something very helpful for you at a pivotal time, at a time of your career when you were down at your lowest. But little did he know you was probably in there getting your chocha licked by another girl or whatever, or in a whole relationship. I could definitely see it. Remy gives masculine energy. She probably was screwing juju. I'm telling you, she probably was. Potent, pondering, never pandering. Let me know what you also think about the Cardi B situation with her album, and talking about, the bundles and all of that. And also Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla. Glorilla's nose job. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. Subscribe to this channel. Thumbs up the video. I hope y'all all doing well this long Memorial Day weekend. Be blessed. I'm going to holler at y'all again soon. Peace.